In January 2020, I woke up from a vision upon which the Lord said to me, "My servant Moses is dead. It is time for Joshua to arise." I carried this burden since that day, praying for my generation and just going over the words that the Lord has shared with me in the previous years concerning the times that we were about to enter into at that time. The Lord started speaking to me about this age around 2009. And ever since then, He put me in this place of prayer, praying for a generation that was emerging, a generation that is to be born. There is a destiny that is yearning to be born. And the Lord describes these people as the builders of bridges. They will restore the ancient landmarks. But something about restoring the ancient landmarks is that you who have been sent to restore the ancient landmarks must be restored in the ancient landmarks. You must understand the path of the ancient landmarks. You must yearn, you must appreciate, you must be grateful for the ancient landmarks. Before one is sent to rebuild bridges, you must be one that sees that there needs to be a rebuilding, and you would have gone through that rebuilding yourself. Something else that the Lord indicated was that these ones will come out of the caves and they will be seen soaring. And it will be said of them, "Who are these that fly like birds?" And so I kept this vision in my heart until 2020, when the Lord said, "My servant Moses is dead. It is time for Joshua to rise." On one hand, it is very easy to say, "Lord, it is time for me to rise. I am Joshua. I am the next generation." But there is something that we must understand about Joshua. Joshua was with Moses. When Moses went up the mountain to be with the Lord, Joshua was there. When Moses went into the tabernacle to be with the Lord, Joshua was there. Joshua was not one that sought to exalt himself. Joshua was one that allowed himself to go through the process until it was time for him to continue what the Lord has started with Moses. There is a generation that the Lord is beckoning, the Lord is calling, the Lord is bringing out in this season. And these are not people that are, the word that I can use that is in my heart, and I will just say the way the Lord says it, felele. If you know what felele means, you know that thing they call felele ball. It is very shallow. It is very easy to deflate. It is not sturdy, it's not steady, it's not substantial. Now the Lord says that the ones that He's calling, the Joshuas, are substantial. They are weighty, they are well seasoned, they have been exposed to certain conditions that makes them relevant for these times that we are in. And now, some days before the end of the year, the Lord started speaking to me, and He used two words: open doors. Now, this was not the first time the Lord was saying these words to me. As a matter of fact, the Lord said these words on Rosh Hashanah, and He said, "You have come into the times of the open doors." Now, when the Lord reiterated this to me before the end of 2023, I sat down and I began to meditate again that, first of all, when the Lord said these words to me in Rosh Hashanah, I thought that the Lord was speaking about open doors, and indeed it was some things that it was showing me: opportunities, elevation, announcements, all of those things. But this time around, the Lord started speaking about another side of open doors that I did not see before, and that is the cracks that we have allowed to go on for so long. And the Lord said that these cracks will become the very avenues or the very points of entrance for the adversary. And so there are are some people that have been marked for this time, but if they do not attend to those cracks, it will become the very point of their demise. And so the Lord was speaking about paying attention to those cracks. Pay attention to those things, those little foxes. In fact, before the little foxes even open, those tiny entrances that will give opportunities for the foxes to enter into the vineyard. And so I'm speaking to a generation now, for those that know that they have been marked for God or by God in this season, for those that know that they have been marked for a time like this. Pay attention to the open doors. Pay attention to the cracks. If you know that you are one that has not given honor to your parents, it is time for you to pay attention to those things. If there are certain things in your life that the Lord has pointed out over and again, it is time for you to pay attention to those cracks, because these cracks will not negate the fact that you have been marked for this time. But if you do not pay attention to these cracks, you will rise, but it will be in no time. There will be a fading away. There will be an exposure. And so the Lord is speaking about paying attention to the cracks. So yes, there is an open door. Yes, there are opportunities. Yes, there is elevation. Yes, Joshua will be announced, but Joshua must pay attention to the cracks, to the open doors that will give the enemy entrance into his vineyard. And so please, I want to encourage us to pay attention to those tiny things, those seemingly tiny things. The enemy doesn't need so much space to enter. He just needs a tiny crack. He just needs a tiny hole. And so if you are one that have been given to a false lips, if you are one that have been given to a wandering eyes or to wandering eyes, if you are one that have been given to dishonor, if you are one that have been given to gossip, malice, unforgiveness, if even in your home you are not paying attention to those cracks, the Lord is saying, in the year of the open door, I will open a door for my sons and my daughters, but they must be mindful to shut the doors that they have left open for too long. And so I want to welcome us to this era. I have looked forward to this for years. I have looked forward to this for years, and I know that I'm not the only one. Even now, I must be careful not to sound like the only one that has been praying. I know that many before me, many before us have been praying. Many before us have been praying. I have asked the Lord to help me see in my time, in my generation, those that He's calling out, those that He's calling for a time like this. And I just want to use this opportunity to say to someone, please seek the face of the Lord to know your season. Yes, the Lord can be speaking about an open door, but please make sure you inquire of the Lord that it is time for you to emerge. If it is not time, then please wait. Go through your process, be seasoned, so that when the Lord brings you forth, you will be well flavored, you'll be well marinated to do what He's calling you to do. On that note, I want to congratulate everyone. Welcome to 2024. Welcome to a leap year. Happy New Year. God bless you. Bye.